22-17. The next game between the Saints and the Bucs was the hardest game for me to go into and even think that Tampa Bay had a shot. The first game of the season, the very first NFL season opener was Bucs Saints, and the Saints won. And then the Saints go down to Tampa Bay and just totally obliterated Tampa Bay. They only scored 3 points in that game. But that was almost a game that woke up the Bucs. After that, they were a different team, which was amazing to witness as, they kind of, it was almost like that game was their smelling salt, so to speak. And it wasn't so much their offense that won the game yesterday, but their defense. Their defense was amazing. I was impressed with the 4 turnovers that the defense was able to cause, which I didn't expect to happen. And I'm sure in many ways, obviously neither did Drew Brees, but Drew Brees just didn't seem himself yesterday. And I wonder if part of that was playing in his mind already, that he knew this could very well be the end. And for Tampa, this was the point of them signing Tom Brady, is that, hey, we're going to make a deep postseason run. And they're doing it. They're doing it. I was amazed that they won the game 30-20. And the beautiful video, if you haven't seen it, of Drew Brees and Tom Brady after the game, playing with Drew Brees' kids. It was just a really cool sight to see, even if it was sad for New Orleans. I imagine on Bourbon Street right now, they're having a parade, but I guess it's kind of a funeral, but not in a bad way necessarily. But I think, more of like a celebration of Drew Brees' career in New Orleans as a player, assuming this is it, because he already said he was going to stop and quit once, and then he had signed a contract with NBC and then reneged and said, no, I'm coming back. So I think this is the end, but I guess with him, you don't quite know. You don't quite know. The games on Saturday are about as I expected them to go. Green Bay, I thought, would beat the Rams. I did call that game. I thought that as much as you want to say defense wins championships, I think in this case, Aaron Rodgers' offense can beat the Rams' defense, and they showed them. Even my guy, as a Pitt alum, Aaron Donald, I want him always to do well. He had 0 rushes on Aaron Rodgers, and Green Bay wins easily, 32-18. Buffalo, I love the story of the Bills. My heart still goes out to the Buffalo Bills for making it to 4 straight Super Bowls with Jim Kelly and not winning one. One of them was a loss to the Washington football team. I'm not going to call them what their name was before that. But Buffalo beats the Ravens 17-3. I thought that Lamar Jackson had got the monkey off of his back, but apparently not. Apparently not. And he also got a little banged up in that game. And Josh Allen's moving on. So as we look ahead to the next round, the championship round, AFC versus NFC, you see you got the Bucs and the Packers. The Packers are favored at -3.5 across the board on DraftKings, FanDuel, BetRivers, and Unibet. And in my mind, when I think about that game, I wonder if there is an opportunity for Tampa to go up to Green Bay early. And the reason I say go up early is because when I was thinking about what's the advantage, because you've got Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, two obviously Hall of Fame quarterbacks, arguably the two best in the NFL right now. Tom Brady has never faced Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, so that's a first. And that will be quite interesting to see them play against each other. And so when you add to that the fact that for Tampa, yes, Tom Brady has played in cold weather with Green Bay. You have the 7th ranked offense versus the 5th ranked defense. The 7th ranked offense in the Bucs versus the 5th ranked offense in the Packers. The 6th ranked defense in the Bucs versus the 9th ranked defense in the Packers. This is all shaping up to be a very, very close game. And for the line to open up at -3.5 for the Bucs, I feel like that has to do with the weather. You don't know, playing on the frozen tundra, if that's going to be, tough for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to play under those conditions. That's one that I think about with the Bucs. If you look at their record over the course of the season, I think that's the one thing that I have to think about is, can they handle the cold weather? Can they handle the cold weather? They beat Washington in the playoffs. I guess you could say that's cold. The Saints were indoors. And if you look at their losses on the road, who did they lose to? At Chicago. Now, granted, you could say October 8th, maybe it wasn't that cold, but bottom line is, that was a cold game, so to speak. That's the way I look at it. That's the way that I look at it. Is, will the cold play a factor? And it will play a factor, but how much of a factor will it play when you look at this matchup? But I love the matchup. I mean, on both sides of the ball, you've got Davante Adams for Green Bay. Obviously, we already talked about Aaron Rodgers. I like both of these teams. I think this is the NFC Championship that we kind of wanted, right? Yes, this is what you're looking for. Aaron Jones. Even the head coach, Matt LaFleur, the young, up-and-coming offensive head coach against Bruce Arians. The old school coach who's still trying to get to the big game. Now, if you want to talk about signs, if I think of last year, everybody talked about Andy Reid finally winning one. If you were looking for reasons to bet one way or the other, I could see you saying, well, maybe this will be Bruce Arians' year. I could see that. And I'd be cool with that. I would be cool with that. I think when you have, Brady, the fact that he brought Antonio Brown, Gronkowski to play with him. You've already got Mike Evans on that team. You've got some studs on offense and defense. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's no doubt about it. On the other side of the ball, championship in the NFC, not the other side of the ball. That I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. You've got the Chiefs favored at -3. And I think that a lot of that depends, in my mind, on what you're going to have in Patrick Mahomes. The line opened at -1, and I'm actually surprised that it's gone even more the Chiefs' way because of the simple fact that what is going to happen at the quarterback position. If it's Chad Henne, even if you're saying he has to come into the game, if you look at what happened at the end of that Browns-Chiefs game, now I will say that Chad Henne made some plays when he had to. But overall, I would say the healthier team and possibly the more talented team is the Buffalo Bills. But the main thing, obviously, going for the Chiefs is at least the game is at Arrowhead. If it was in Buffalo, I would easily be leaning more towards the Buffalo Bills. But the fact that it's an Arrowhead, we just got to wait to see what's going to happen with Patrick Mahomes. If he can't go, I think that line shifts. That line has to shift. And I would think it's going to favor Buffalo. Or at least the line is going to go down to like 1.5 if by Saturday we don't have an answer if Patrick Mahomes is going to play. And it may even flip. But I think that's going to be the key. That's going to be the key for, at least in my mind, my decision of where I'm going to go with this game. But right now, okay, you'll take Chiefs favor, assuming Patrick Mahomes comes back. The Bills are 12-6 against the spread. The Chiefs have not done well against the spread, which is a funny thing. They're 6-10-1 on the season, and I put that out in my pick yesterday. And as I'm looking at it, and it's like, wait a minute. The Browns are 3-1 against the spread in their last 4. 2 of those games they won outright. The Chiefs have not been good against the spread all season, and especially down the stretch. But when Patrick Mahomes went out, they had what, a 12-point lead, I think, at the time. So before he got hurt, I was like, okay, I think this is where it's going to be. I think they're going to be just fine. Sam says that, yes, they did blow out the Packers already. 38-10. But in my mind, it's more about the cold. And I did gloss over that. So thank you for the reminder, Sam, that they did beat the Packers already. But I am almost throwing that game out of the window when I think of, and I probably shouldn't, because that's kind of bulletin board material, right? Aaron Rodgers probably wants to, get back, and the Packers, not just Aaron Rodgers, wants to get back at the Bucs for that bad loss, 38-10. But that's just more ammunition for the Packers. But I think the cold will be the biggest factor in that game. That'll be the biggest factor. And then, of course, in the Chiefs-Bills game, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes. We'll see what happens with him. Not so sure. Not so sure. But I'm looking forward to Thursday's show, which I will then give my picks. Sam says smells like an underdog teaser to me. I'll buy that for $1. I would. All right, coming up, we're going to talk NBA divisional races. There have been some changes in the Eastern and Western Conference. Bucs plus 10, Bills plus 9. Underdog teasers. That's a big number. I don't know about that one. We're going to talk NBA on the other side of the break. Ja Morant's return, Harden trade. What does that do for those two teams? But more importantly, the divisions. What it does for the divisions. BetMGM is a new online sportsbook that has taken over the online betting nation. Not only does BetMGM have some of the best odds on all the major sports, but they also offer some of the industry's strongest weekly promos. This week at BetMGM, you can get free dollars and free $20 in-play wager when you bet $50 or more on any live NFL game. It's coming down to the last four, right? Final four. Here we go. Or you can get up to $100 in free bets in the free-to-play Pick 3 First Touchdown NFL Challenge. But that's not all. Right now, BetMGM has a special signing bonus for the Props Network listeners. All you have to do is create a new account at BetMGM and use the code JustSport20 to get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $500. That's right. Just enter the code JustSport20 and up to $500 in bonus money is yours. You must be 21 or over to bet online. Do you or someone you know have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER today.